Phillip, venga, hombre, vuelve, que no vamos a poneros a parir, te lo prometo.
No quiero.
Phillip, I promise you, we're not gonna slack you off.
What, you want to talk about people from my country? What are you gonna say? I'm nervous. I don't want to...
Shh. Put a sock in it. Hola a todos.
Hello.
Bienvenido a otro vídeo de Amigos Ingleses. Yo soy Isabel, este es Phillip, que está un poco preocupado porque en este vídeo vamos a hablar de rarezas British. Os pregunté la semana pasada si, bueno, aparte de las típicas curiosidades, ¿no? Como el hecho de tener moqueta incluso hasta en el baño en algunas casas, el que todo cierre tan pronto, que cenen a las 6 de la tarde, que se beban hasta el agua de los floreros, aparte de lo más obvio, que os habéis sorprendido, ¿no? Cuando habéis estado en Inglaterra. Y tengo una lista bastante larga, la verdad. Vamos a hacer el vídeo totalmente en inglés porque va a ser una práctica de listening y vamos a dejarte una worksheet con la transcripción, con todo el vocabulario o expresiones que hayamos utilizado. En la Academia de Amigos Ingleses tenemos un curso que se llama All You Need Is Listening y allí lo vas a poder encontrar, ¿vale? Make yourself comfy and let's begin! Shh. Mind your own business. Let's kick off with food. The first thing that has really shocked all our students visiting the UK is that you put vinegar on chips.
Yes, we do.
How come?
Is that strange? For me, that's completely normal. When I was growing up in England, we used to go to the fish and chip shop and the lady always asks, do you want salt and vinegar on your chips? And we say, yes, please. And so they put lots of salt, lots of vinegar on your chips.
But then the chips are wet, aren't they?
Yes, you can have soggy chips. Soggy chips are quite common if you go to a fish and chip shop in the UK. Or we also call it a chippy. If you go to a chippy, expect to get some soggy chips.
When you go to a birthday party,
Yeah?
sometimes you give a present to that person and they don't open it. They just put it to one side. They say, thank you very much. They put it to one side.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't see the reaction opening your present. And also with the cake, I've heard some of you on social media saying that you blow the candles, you say happy birthday, you sing, and then they give you a little box with your slice of cake and they say, there you go, enjoy it at home, you know, don't eat it here.
So after they blow the candles out, they cut it up and give a slice to each guest, right? To take home. Well, I think sometimes we eat it there, but maybe if there's some extra, we would take it home. I think especially for children's parties, it's very typical for the children to receive like a goodie bag or like a bag full of different things, like a slice of cake or some toys.
Okay, but you wouldn't find it strange if they blow out the candles and they just cut the cake and give everyone a piece and no one eats any cake there. You wouldn't find that shocking?
I don't think so.
That's funny. Yeah, when I've been celebrating like our niece's birthdays, we've all eaten cake in the kitchen or wherever we were.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think maybe for children's parties it's more common.
Maybe when there are lots of children and it can be a bit messy to get plates out.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the reason, I don't know.
Yeah, and about the presents, well, sometimes a present could be quite personal, so you might not want to open it in front of everybody because it might be something very personal and intimate, or maybe there's a lot of pressure on you to react to the present and say thank you and show everybody. So I think it's just like at weddings. When you go to a wedding, the bride and groom don't open their presents right there, do they?
Yeah, well, maybe that in that case, because well, they're too busy. But yeah, I
Yeah.
suppose it's because you don't want to show a negative reaction. Like if you don't like the present and you
Yeah.
cannot hide this emotion, you don't want to go through that. You don't want to face that, do
Yeah,
you?
if you open the present straight away, then you have to smile and say, oh, even if you don't like the present, oh, thank you so much. This is just what I wanted.
Hold on a minute. Why are we wearing these glasses?
Okay.
We can see perfectly. The most shocking thing I've seen in the UK, if you go out on a Saturday night, let's say in December, for example, what could be the temperature? Maybe 4 degrees or even less.
Yeah.
You go out at night, you go into a club, and if there is a queue, I can assure you that you will find some ladies with no coat, just with a top, stripy top, una camiseta de tirantes. Yeah.
Strappy top.
Yeah, like
stripy. It could be stripy as well,
yeah.
with con rayas, but a strappy top.
Yeah, like with a strappy top, a very short skirt, probably they're wearing tights, maybe even sandals, no coat, no jacket, no nothing. They are even, I mean, their skin is even, getting purple. Why don't they wear coats? Maybe it's because the cloakroom is too expensive. Is it too expensive? I don't remember. I don't think so.
Maybe that's the reason. I don't know why. But I have always thought they must be freezing. Those girls wearing hardly anything. These girls are scantily clad during the coldest part of winter, and it's quite crazy.
They must be really sick the rest of the week.
I
don't
think
know.
these English girls, they're tough and they're used to it. And also, maybe they're wearing a beer jacket as well. If they've had a few to drink, then you don't feel the cold as much.
I think they are called tabloids. And there is one of them specially called The Sun, which has something very curious on the 3rd page.
Oh yes. Actually, I'm not sure if they still do it. Certainly in the past, there was a topless woman on page 3 of The Sun. Now I think it's just a woman in lingerie.
Okay.
But I don't buy The Sun, so I don't really look at it. But
Are you sure?
when I was a teenager, I had a paper round and I used to post The Sun to various houses in the mornings, and sometimes I would have a quick look at page 3 before posting the newspaper.
So naughty.
It's one of the most popular newspapers in the UK, but it's a tabloid newspaper and it has a lot of gossip and silly news, and it's very sensational as well. Yeah. Pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Bartlett. Pleasure. And if you are quite close to that person, then you might kiss. But is it normal to do this?
No, it's not normal. And that's something that I found quite strange when I first moved to Spain. People that you've never met before, they kiss you on the cheeks. I don't want to get that close to someone who I don't know, who I've only just met. Usually in England it takes weeks or even months to get to have that
To
kind
touch
of...
somebody.
Yes.
And when you do touch, so with family and friends, you kiss each other, but how many kisses?
Just
you
one
give?
on the cheek. Yeah.
Okay, because I've been confusing people for years in England, because I'm used to always giving 2 kisses, or if you don't know that person, just shake hands.
Just shake their hands, or not even that. Just say hi.
Just say hi. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Philip. If you arrive at a party, don't go and kiss anybody.
No.
Just say hi, nice to meet you, hi.
Yeah, don't
And that's
touch.
it.
¡Hey! ¿Qué pasa? ¿Cómo estás, Philip? Estás fuertote, ¿eh? Estás fuertote, ¿eh? ¡Qué tío! Never ever try that with a British person.
No. Spanish people are so affectionate. We've talked about it before. You love to touch, to squeeze, to pat, to kiss, to hug. But in the UK, we respect people's personal space a little bit more.
Yeah, keep the distance.
Oh,
I know we drink a lot in Spain, but I've noticed in the UK that at the weekends, especially, whenever there is some kind of celebration, like imagine a big birthday party, like somebody's 40th birthday, for example, I can see people, when I go down to London on the train, I can see people drinking champagne on the train at 10 a.m. and also at the airport. When you book one of these horrible early flights, like 7 a.m., I've seen people having big pints with a full English breakfast, like they're ready to go on holiday.
Yes. People in the UK, we work hard and we play hard. Yes, if it's your holiday and you go to the airport, you might see, I would never do it, but you might see people drinking beer with their breakfast.
Also talking about drinking, what happens in the pub before they close? How do they announce the last orders?
Last orders, ding, 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 ding. Last orders, get your drinks. Closing in half an hour. I think Isabel almost spilt her drink when they rang the bell. So don't be surprised when you hear the bell. If you go to a pub around 11 o'clock or maybe later, you'll hear the bell ringing. Last orders.
Another thing that will probably surprise you is that you can find medicines in the supermarket.
Yes, medicine in the supermarket. But
so what can you buy in the supermarket?
Usually just basic things like plasters, ibuprofen, paracetamol, aspirin, and basic things, but not usually prescription medicine. So it's very convenient. You don't have to go to the pharmacy specifically to get something if you have a headache or a cold, you know. What else have you got? What else? Come on.
We all know that it rains quite a lot in the UK.
Yeah.
But you don't see many people carrying an umbrella. Like, for example, I don't think you've ever had an umbrella. So I know you didn't used to have one.
No, I have never owned an umbrella. I've never bought an umbrella. But I do use a hood on my coat.
What happens if it's raining really heavily?
Well, you just take shelter or put your hood up and make sure you're wearing a waterproof jacket, waterproof trousers, wellies. Just got to be prepared. We're kind of used to the rain, and also the weather is very changeable, so it might rain for 5 minutes and then the sun comes out and then it's windy and then it rains again. So it's a bit of an inconvenience to keep having to put your umbrella up. Yeah. It's much easier just to put your hood up or take shelter for 5 minutes until it passes.
When you get off the bus, you usually say goodbye to the driver. And I realized that I've started to do that in Spain, but I don't think I did it before I lived in England. I think people look at me like, what's this nutter doing?
Well, we don't typically say goodbye. I think we say thank you more than goodbye. But yes, you might say thank you, bye. Yeah.
But I think it's because in some buses, you don't have two doors, do you? You don't have the front and the back door. Many of them don't have a back door.
If you're in the UK, say thank you to the bus driver. Say thanks, cheers mate, thanks, bye, cheers.
If you're on the train, for example, on public transport, and somebody's making a phone call, you know, here in Spain, you might be on the bus and suddenly it's like, oye, que te he hecho albóndigas, que están en la nevera. Sí, con toma. And you're there like, I don't care what you're having for lunch. I'm trying to read something. Just keep it down. But in the UK, what happens in the UK if someone's making a phone call?
Yeah, usually in the UK it would be like, sorry, I'm on the underground. I'm on the bus. Can you call me back later? Yeah, I can't really talk right now because I'm on public transport. I'm being respectful. Okay, I'll call you back when I'm off. Okay, bye. In Britain, we're a bit more reserved and quiet and respectful, I'm afraid.
Unless you're drunk.
Yes. We had cooking classes at school. the teachers would give us a list of ingredients that we would take home to our parents, and our mothers and fathers would send us to school with those ingredients, and then we would have a cooking class where we would follow the instructions of the teacher, make, for example, cakes, biscuits, lasagna.
Wow, really?
Shepherd's pie, toad in the hole, some typical British dishes, spaghetti bolognese. We would learn how to cook. We would chop the onions, we would boil the pasta, we would fry the vegetables.
In Cambridge, we bought a sewing machine. And you used to, because the trousers that you bought, if they were too long, you used to shorten them with the machine. So you could see Philip there in the evening, like, Isabel, I'm just doing my trousers.
I can never find some trousers that are the correct length.
But yeah, it surprised me that you knew how to use the sewing machine, because I didn't know how to use it.
It's not something I use very often, but I did do our curtains.
Yeah, true. Did you know that if you move to the UK, you could work as a lollipop man or a lollipop woman? What's this about?
A lollipop man or a lollipop woman is a person who helps children cross the road in front of schools. The local council pay some, I assume they're paid, or maybe they're volunteers, but they wear a fluorescent coat. They have a stick which has a sign on it that says stop.
So it's a round sign, isn't it?
Sign.
So it looks like a lollipop.
Looks like a lollipop. And then they stand like this and they stop the traffic and the children can cross the road.
Yeah, so this way children can go on foot on their own to school. They don't need their parents, but it's very safe for them.
Typically in quite rural towns where there aren't traffic lights or a zebra crossing.
If somebody gets pregnant, I think it's common to not find out the sex of the baby, to wait till the baby's born so that it's a surprise. And also I've heard on social media, on the comments that you left, that many people don't like saying the name. They prefer not to share the name with their family and friends until the baby's born. Is that something common?
Yeah, I think so, actually. I think some babies are born and don't have a name for a couple of days.
Yes.
Until they've
So they don't
decided.
decide.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they look at the baby and it's like, oh, you look like pizza. Or
Yeah. That's how it works, yeah. Or you might not be able to decide if your parents are very indecisive and they're between 2 or 3 names, and then they make a decision and then it's put on the birth certificate. Do you always tell everybody the sex and the name before the baby's born?
Yeah,
always?
Yeah, everyone, I mean, most of the parents, they already know the name before the baby's born, and the sex, everyone, well, I'm sure some people keep it as a surprise, but it's not common. Most of the pregnant women, they want to find out if it's a girl or a boy.
I suppose it gives you a chance to get the earrings ready if it's a girl.
Oh dear.
So that when the baby comes out, you can just put the earrings on. I think they knew I was going to be a boy and they weren't sure about the name. Mm-hmm. I think they were going to call me Ross.
Really? Like Friends?
Or Philip. Yeah.
Like Ross from Friends. That would have been good.
But
they look at you and they say, they said, he looks like Mr. Bartlett.
That's right.
Philip Bartlett.
Yes.
Philip Sidney. Maybe you don't know that, but he's got 2 names. Philip Sidney Bartlett.
Yes. In England we have a surname, but we also usually have a middle name. We call it our middle name.
Okay, I've got some others here, but I will save them for another lovely video, Slagging Off the Brits. Coméntanos si has estado en Reino Unido, qué cosas te han llamado la atención que no hayamos mencionado en el vídeo. Si puede ser en inglés, mejor, y así practicamos. Si eres un super motivated student, recuerda que este vídeo viene acompañado de una worksheet gratuita que te hemos dejado en la Academia de Amigos Ingleses en nuestro curso All You Need Is Listening. Y también para que puedas volver a escuchar la conversación de nuevo sin tener que ver el vídeo en YouTube, te vamos a dejar el audio descargable. ¿Ok? So,
wow.
I hope you enjoyed it and, well, we'll see you very soon.
See you soon.
Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for opening your weirdness to the world.
Pleasure. Pleasure was all mine. Let's dance.
All right then.